Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how to change a throttle. This is your throttle. Back up a little bit. So this is your brake lever and your throttle and your ATV. These are actually really simple to change. First thing you want to do, these are typically on handlebars. I'm actually rebuilding this, but I thought it'd be easy to show it on this. But what you want to do, you're going to have your two wires. You just want to disconnect those. And that's to your brake. That pretty much engages your brake light, or it sends a signal to your wiring harness saying that your brake is pressed in. Next thing you want to do is take these two screws out. That's for your throttle. This is your throttle. Like I said, normally this will be on the handlebars, and if this, the only reason I'm changing this is because it actually broke off right here when I took it off the handlebars. Normally you'll have an 8mm bolt that's going through there. You unscrew that, and this will pop off, or this will slide off the end of your handlebars. Next thing you want to do is unscrew these two screws. I'm going to do that real quick. And then this will pop off. The cover to your throttle will pop off. Next thing you're going to do, this is actually your throttle cable. What you want to do is pull this up, grab it, and turn it to where it comes to this opening, and that'll pop right off. That's your throttle cable. Next thing you want to do is unscrew this screw right here. That's another 8mm bolt. Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab my drill. Anyways, 8mm bolt. Unscrew that. Once that comes loose, essentially, grab this with a screwdriver and literally just pry it out. And once you have a little bit of room, you literally just want to turn it up. And I'm doing that backwards. Grab it from this side. Sorry, I'm trying to watch the camera. Harder to do on camera. Here, you know what? I'm trying going from the bottom. So once you turn it out like that, you'll literally just be able to turn this out and it'll pop this off. Next thing you want to do is unscrew these all the way. And do that to both of those. Those are your brake cables. So that is completely off. See? You can literally throw this to the side. Whoopsie, hit a drill. This is your new throttle cable. Do the exact same thing to put it back on. And you can either take these off and you can either reuse these or just take them off and use the new ones. Throw that to the side too. That one already fell off. But unscrew these. You gotta line up those holes, those slots, line those up. Slide that through. And then put it back in here. I have that upside down. Something that will save you a little bit of time if you tighten that down. Make sure those slots aren't lined up when you tighten those down, when you tighten it down. And then put it back in the threaded hole. And then tighten it all the way down. Let me do that real quick. I'll be right back. Do the exact same thing to the other side, or the other brake cable. Then once you get that tightened all the way down, literally just tighten it up against this. Next thing you're gonna wanna do is push these cables out. Is like, you're gonna have a little gap right here, a little bit of slop, but push on that so it pops this ball at the end, because you're gonna need that ball. Oh, something I forgot to mention, take this off too. This is the new one. It's an 8mm, because you need to get the throttle cable ends through that. The hardest part is actually getting this thing back on. The rest of it's simple. Push those through the brake cable, and then you're gonna wanna grab that ball or that end. Same with this. So you push those through. And this part that you just took off, this is screwing the part you just took off. I think. Oh yeah. Grab this, put it inside those little holes where that little ball will line up, and then essentially you're gonna turn this over. And it's a lot easier not doing it on camera. I'm gonna grab a screwdriver and then just literally turn it over. And there, that's in place. And then you need to line this hole up with this. And how I typically do that is literally stick this inside that slot, get a thin screwdriver, actually, by the way, and then put the tip of the screwdriver in this hole. And then once you got those lined up, just hold it in place with your fingers. Then put your screw back into place. Good thing I dropped the screw. Ugh. Oh, that's not my new screw. Put your new screw back into place. It's gonna feel a little tight. Ugh. Just gonna use this to get it started. This one actually has a spacer on it, so I need to pry this open a little more to get that spacer to align. And then just impact it down. And that's it. And that's how you put a new brake lever on. Those are your brakes. You can see your brakes, I can see my brakes engage. Oh yeah, you can see it down here in this bottom corner. The brakes engaging as I pull the lever. So that's how you actually replace that. And then hook up your wires again. That's these two to this. By the way, if you hook these up and you have your four-wheeler power turned on and you let these two touch any kind of grounded, like the frame or anything, it's gonna blow the fuse in your wiring harness. So I recommend just cutting these off and hardwiring them in. And that's what I'm gonna do right now real quick. Give me 1 second. So you can either melt these down. I usually just leave them. They're not gonna touch anything anyways. But that's pretty much all you need to do to hardwire, or I mean to get that in. Oh, I forgot the throttle cable. This section, your throttle cable. Need to put that back in place. But take these two screws back off. Or take these two screws off. This is the new one. Gonna be a little gasket right there. I'm pretty sure that's just to keep dirt out. Same thing with this one. You have this. That's what your throttle, the end of your throttle looks like. But essentially, you just want to slide it into that crack. Hopefully you can see that, and then turn it back out that way. And that's actually your little gasket that keeps dirt out. Slide that back into the groove, and then put the cover back. God dang it. Sorry, I'm doing my best. Anyway, slide that back into the groove. And put your cover back on. That's pretty much it. Unscrew this 8mm bolt, slide it back on your handlebars, and essentially you're done. That's how you install a new throttle. If you have any questions, leave it in the link or leave it in the comments below. I always respond to all the questions. As always, make sure you subscribe. All things DIY, tool reviews, and a bunch of quad builds. I'm out.